Welcome to a session where you can easily learn orthodontics while enjoying a cup of coffee. This is Ortho Barista Senior, Ji Dae Kyung.
And this is Ortho Barista Junior, Lee Jong-guk.
Starting today, over 2 sessions, we'll talk about clear aligners. But before that, we have a special segment unique to Ortho Barista.
커피 한잔 할래요?
This is courtesy of our choir team.
It's time for today's coffee, recommended by Ortho Barista. I've heard some people look forward to this segment even more than our lecture.
Last time, we made Mazagran coffee at a beach in Portugal, didn't we? So, are we traveling overseas again today?
Yes, we are. This time, we're heading to Indonesia.
Indonesia is indeed famous for its coffee. I'm excited.
잠시만요.
Did I read it too stiffly?
You seem a bit awkward today. Yes, Indonesia is the 4th largest coffee producer in the world. It's also home to the world's most expensive coffee.
When you think of expensive coffee, something specific comes to mind. Could it be the one made from droppings?
Yes, that's right. It's called Kopi Luwak. Kopi means coffee in Indonesian, and Luwak refers to the civet cat. Kopi Luwak is made from coffee beans found in the feces of civet cats, which are then roasted and brewed. It has outperformed even the finest beans in price, making it the world's most expensive coffee.
Can we taste that luxurious coffee today?
Yes.
It's droppings. Shall we try it?
It's fancy. Even the packaging looks premium.
The aroma is lovely. It even has a caramel scent. Here, it's droppings.
It smells nice.
Almost like roasted seeds. Should we compare it to regular coffee beans? Of course, there's a difference in color. The middle part is a bit darker, like a brownish hue.
Lighter in tone.
연한 갈색. 네. 자.
Do the baristas seem too amateurish? It feels like there's something inside.
It almost doesn't seem like coffee. It even has a soil-like appearance.
With bits and pieces here and there. Now, let's proceed.
As Kopi Luwak gained popularity, other coffees like elephant dung coffee and squirrel dung coffee also became trendy.
Oh, that's the first I've heard of those. Now it's brewed. I think it'd be great for each of us to taste it.
I'm looking forward to it.
It does have a caramel-like aroma.
And it even tastes a bit like caramel. It seems there's almost no sourness at all.
There's a slight citrus-like sensation, though. Anyway, in my entire life, I never thought I'd experience the taste of droppings. Let's officially begin Ji Dae Kyung and Lee Jong-guk's Easy Orthodontics.
If you're watching this broadcast on the Denol site, feel free to post questions in the chat. We'll do our best to answer them sincerely, and we're also giving away Starbucks coffee coupons through a draw.
Additionally, until the end of this month, we're selecting the best question and sending a toothpaste and toothbrush set from the collaboration of View Sen and Music Tiger. Don't hesitate. Please send in lots of questions. Over 2 sessions, this time and the next, we'll talk about clear aligners. It's not easy to cover everything about clear aligners in such a short time. We also offer an 8-hour one-day seminar, so we'll leave some details for that. If you're curious, you can join the seminar and learn more about clear aligners. Today, we'll discuss general aspects of clear aligners and topics like tooth movement during clear aligner treatment. Before that, last year, in October and November, we attended an orthodontic conference. Compared to the past, the atmosphere was noticeably different. If you look at the sponsor list, typically companies like Shinhan and Gwangmyeong were the diamond sponsors.
Many bracket manufacturers joined in.
Suddenly, from last year, clear aligner-related companies like Osstem entered the scene. Osstem Orthodontics was established, and Magic Align appeared. They even became diamond sponsors.
Which was surprising. From the entrance itself, the main booths were dominated by clear aligner-related companies, making it feel like the times were changing.
That's right, it's undeniable that clear aligners are now a major trend. Even on the last day of the orthodontic conference, which is considered the highlight, many orthodontists stayed for the final symposium to wrap things up. In the past, clear aligners weren't viewed positively by many orthodontists.
Even now, while we can't call it a matter of preference, the theories and principles surrounding it are still in a transitional stage.
However, perceptions seem to be evolving. Both academically and industrially, interest in clear aligners is growing significantly in depth and breadth.
If you look at graphs showing citation numbers of papers related to clear aligners, it's evident that instead of gradually increasing, the number has rapidly grown over the past 4 to 5 years. This indicates rising interest among orthodontists. With this interest, we can expect more advanced and innovative systems to emerge in the future.
Let's take a look at one clear aligner case. This is a relatively straightforward case involving a slight deep bite and mild crowding. While not overly challenging, the treatment hasn't been fully completed yet. You can see the nearly finished results achieved through clear aligners. Beyond cases like this, if you look at research papers and other media, you'll find many diverse cases treated with clear aligners. Or is it done with fixed orthodontic appliances, such as bracket systems? It's hard to tell. Cases like these, even involving extraction treatments, are now emerging.
If you watch lectures about clear aligners, you can actually encounter many dramatic cases. However, in today's session and the next one, instead of showcasing highly successful cases, we've prepared a discussion to help you understand the basic concepts. Doctor, I found 2 cases that are very similar.
They are indeed very similar cases.
And the results are also comparable. In fact, one case was treated with clear aligners, and the other with what we call bracket orthodontics. Can you tell which one was done with clear aligners?
I anticipated you'd ask that question. Some prosthodontists might feel uncomfortable with IPR or stripping. Why bring up IPR all of a sudden? If I had to guess, I'd say the case on the right seems to have undergone more stripping. So it might be the clear aligner case. That's just my impression.
You didn't see my notes, did you? You didn't see the next slide, did you? That's a sharp observation. I didn't think of it that way, though. Honestly, I thought you'd respond with, I'm not sure. While bracket treatments can involve IPR too, as you mentioned, the case on the right was treated with clear aligners, while the left case was done with traditional bracket orthodontics. Both have their pros and cons, which we'll discuss later. But if we had to pick one key advantage of clear aligners, what would it be?
One significant advantage is that clear aligners can focus on targeted tooth movement.
In traditional bracket systems, force and counterforce affect all teeth. If one moves, others must respond. With clear aligners, this counterforce is reduced, allowing for more specific tooth movement. It seems that there are a lot of unwanted tooth movements when we fill out the crooked teeth with bracket orthodontics. In bracket orthodontics, you might encounter unwanted movements like round tripping or the jiggling effect, where unnecessary movements occur due to counterforce. These effects can sometimes cause periodontal issues. With clear aligners, however, you can minimize these unintended movements, focusing only on the teeth you want to move.
This can result in faster and more precise tooth adjustments. In some cases, clear aligners can result in much faster tooth movement than bracket correction.
Yes, it's really amazing because sometimes it works so well that it gets more interested. This is why research and interest in clear aligners are becoming more active. Let me show you a specific case. In cases like this, the patient's chief complaint was the crowding in the lower arch. Of course, when I approach it from an orthodontic diagnostic perspective, I also need to consider things like midline, and establishing in Class 1 occlusion is part of the initial treatment plan. And while such comprehensive plans are important, in some cases, there's also a psychological burden in altering an occlusion the patient has lived with for 20 to 30 years without major issues. So, although thorough diagnosis is crucial, with this particular case, we started thinking, what if I could just make space for tooth number 31 to come in properly? That became my main focus. Looking at the overjet, the surrounding teeth were closely related to the opposing teeth in the maxilla. With bracket orthodontics, trying to align tooth number 31 would inevitably result in unwanted movements of adjacent teeth, causing unnecessary contact with the upper teeth. Clear aligners, however, are advantageous in cases like this. By creating space with IPR, tooth number 31 could be aligned within approximately 3 months, while the surrounding teeth remained relatively stable. This minimized unnecessary tooth movement and occlusal interference. I consider this one of the strengths of clear aligners.
When comparing clear aligners with brackets, the latter involves fixed appliances, in which wires are combined with brackets and bracket orthodontics. In contrast, with clear aligners, attachments are applied. Many people assume clear aligners don't require anything to be attached to the teeth and that they're just worn as is.
Even patients are sometimes surprised when something is attached to their teeth because they think clear aligners are supposed to be invisible.
Personally, I think the use of attachments marked a paradigm shift in the development of the clear aligner industry. Clear aligner treatment consists of attachments and the aligners themselves, which are worn and removed by the patient. However, unlike fixed orthodontics, one key difference with clear aligners is that patient cooperation is essential, and this becomes an important factor. Generally speaking, each manufacturer has unique features. For example, they attach attachments, include a patient's ID number on the cutting line of the teeth, or use proprietary naming systems. Personally, I believe that one area with potential for further development and improvement in clear aligners is the material itself. What are your thoughts on the materials used?
I've even treated cases back in 2006. Looking back, I feel the advancement in materials has definitely brought us closer to achieving more predictable tooth movement, including better control over rotations. I'll explain this further in the next session. I expect materials to continue evolving, and I'm looking forward to it.
I think manufacturers are actively developing materials. When external forces are applied to the teeth during treatment, they also exert force on the aligner, which can cause deformation. Ideally, the aligner should hold the teeth firmly in place, and the orthodontic force applied should maintain its effectiveness for an extended period, much like nickel titanium wires. As I mentioned earlier, each manufacturer employs different methods to improve the physical properties of the plastic sheets used in aligners. Today, we'll also introduce a new product launched by Osstem, the Magic Align system. They've named it Magic Foil, and it's a 3-layer structure, soft, hard, soft. You've likely tried 3-layer systems before, haven't you?
I've primarily used single-layer aligners for over 10 years. Recently, multi-layer systems like Magic Align have emerged. While I'm not advertising for them, I've noticed that the physical properties of multi-layer systems are indeed better than single-layer ones. I recently reviewed a paper that suggested 3-layer systems can achieve slightly more predictable tooth movements than single-layer systems.
Although there's still room to improve the functional aspects of soft and hard layers in multi-layer systems, the 3-layer Magic Foil used in Magic Align has shown better physical properties in laboratory tests. It maintains initial orthodontic forces and holds teeth securely while delivering sustained force over time.
Which I agree is an improvement. Of course, it's not just about one specific company. Recent materials in general have noticeably improved.
I sometimes imagine a future where plastic sheets become as revolutionary as nickel titanium wires were for metal braces. Although plastic sheets are inherently less elastic, adding elasticity could lead to even better results. That day might come. From the perspective of force transmission, fixed orthodontics applies pulling forces. Wires are ligated to brackets, creating tension that pulls the teeth into position. Similarly, fixed systems use pulling forces through ligation. In contrast, aligners rely on push forces to move teeth. Instead of pulling, they use surface pressure to push, which results in different degrees and methods of tooth movement. Looking at this example, with fixed orthodontic appliances.
As mentioned earlier, rather than targeting only specific teeth for movement, the forces are distributed overall. For instance, with nickel titanium wires, all the teeth may protrude in certain directions. Some teeth move out, others move in, with action and reaction forces being transmitted throughout.
In contrast, when using clear aligners, forces are more efficiently directed to target teeth, such as moving tooth number 11 inward. This often results in faster progress. Here, you can see a chart from Magic Align, which outlines an attachment protocol used in the treatment process. While it's helpful to study the shapes and configurations of these attachments if you're interested, the arrangement is automated and pre-designed, so there's no need for excessive concern or overthinking. The patient is a 31-year-old male with a slight deep bite and moderate crowding. He also presents with a crossbite in the left premolar region. You can observe the treatment details here. With Magic Align, the system provides predictions, such as treatment stages and estimated timelines, through its user interface. It generates a setup report detailing tooth movements, expansion, interproximal reduction, and other specifics. For example, the system calculates the required amounts of IPR and adjustments, akin to what I previously mentioned about autonomous systems. When reviewing these, you must evaluate whether the proposed tooth movements are feasible. If the suggested movements are either achievable or not, you should provide feedback to the setup designers to ensure the treatment plan and results are optimal. The example shown here depicts the appliance in use. The treatment isn't complete yet, and while there's still slight bite closure issue on the left side, the digitization isn't ideal. Tooth number 25 still shows a crossbite, but resolving that should improve the situation.
This case appears to showcase various corrections, including intrusions, in and out adjustments, and rotation control.
How long do you think this cast might have taken? Before the official launch of Magic Align, around May or June last year. Since then, we've working hard to collect and treat cases. In approximately 6 months, we achieved tooth movement, bite opening, and alignment. It progressed faster than expected.
Of course, results depend on the case and treatment method, such as using brackets versus aligners, but this is a good example of successful treatment. That's not to say every case will turn out this well, but it's good to know what's possible. Starting with such cases can provide a solid example.
From the occlusal view, you can see that alignment, arrangement, and vertical issues were resolved within a relatively short period.
Would you like to have a cup of coffee? Let's have a cup of coffee.
It's very expensive one, though.
I've been sipping on it here and there.
Next, I'll explain some diagnostic tips and tools that can be quite useful.
When it comes to clear aligners, people often assume that the company will handle everything, but I would advise against that mindset. It's like thinking you don't need a driver's license to use a self-driving car. You still need to know how to drive. Similarly, even with clear aligners, it's crucial to make accurate diagnoses and orders. Today, I'll focus on just one aspect. While orthodontic diagnoses often start with setting ideal goals like addressing Class 1 issues or exit control, if there's crowding limited to the front teeth, that specific issue can also be addressed separately. Today, I'll discuss diagnosing cases focused on anterior crowding. So, if you simply take an impression of a crowded case and send it to the company, will they create a perfect result for you?
They do produce results, but as I mentioned earlier, proper interpretation is key. If the proposed solution isn't feasible, you should be able to reorder the treatment plan.
Let me emphasize one key point today. You need a clear standard or criteria to determine how to address the crowding before placing an order. In orthodontic diagnosis, the most important factor is determining the anterior-posterior position of the upper and lower central incisors. For cases of protrusion, the required amount of retraction must be identified. For crowding, you need to decide based on specific criteria. for example, aligning teeth to one reference line or another. To illustrate, consider aligning based on a specific reference tooth like number 41. The amount of stripping required would depend on this alignment choice. Alternatively, you could align based on tooth number 31, which would again determine the amount of stripping required. In some cases, extraction of a mandibular tooth might also be necessary. Deciding how to achieve alignment starts with establishing a reference line. This reference line should be determined by first assessing the patient's profile. If the lip line is acceptable, there's no need to retract the front teeth. In that case, align the lower central incisors to match the upper central incisors. For the given case, aligning based on tooth number 31 becomes the goal. Once the reference is established, you can decide the amount of IPR needed and how to move the teeth. Orthodontic diagnosis involves many considerations, but the guiding principle for mild cases should be to determine the reference tooth or line for alignment. It might not always be a tooth, but having this criterion is critical. For example, if the patient's profile is fine, there's no need to move the upper central incisors back excessively. In such cases, the alignment line can be determined automatically, and the company will arrange the aligners accordingly. However, when dealing with more complex cases, those that aren't immediately obvious, you'll need to decide on the reference line carefully. For example, in a case with noticeable misalignment, should you align based on tooth number 42 or number 41? You must also consider the overjet and whether to adjust the position of the upper central incisors before determining the position of the lower central incisors. The main takeaway is that establishing the reference line is the first and most crucial step.
This principle isn't exclusive to clear aligners, but applies to all orthodontic diagnostics. A solid understanding of general orthodontic diagnosis will naturally improve your ability to diagnose for clear aligners.
말씀드린 투명 교정의 어떤 개요 이런 것들 여러분들에게 잘 전달이 되셨을지 모르겠어요.
As mentioned earlier, it's not possible to fully explain clear aligner treatment in a short session like this. Normally, it takes 8 to 9 hours of lectures. However, I hope I've conveyed some basic and essential knowledge today.
다음 시간에는 투명 교정 두 번째 파트로
Next time, in the second part, we'll discuss magic align cases and how to evaluate initial aligner treatments to ensure successful outcomes. As with today's discussion about the alignment line, I'd like to provide some additional explanations regarding diagnostic considerations. I apologize for bringing up poop talk during lunch, but it was quite enjoyable.
It was so delicious that it didn't cross my mind at all.
I hope you all found today's fun poop talk enjoyable and entertaining. Have a wonderful afternoon with your practice. Thank you.